I was sitting with my phone. Oh yeah. Good morning, Slack. Good on you for keeping an eye out. And me. And hello, Magic. It is like magic. We're doing I got a fancy, a bunch of things going on. I'm doing OBS and StreamYards and Discord, and it's quite a lot. So let's hide this for a minute and do your savings throws for today. This Friday, this happy St. Patrick's Day. Ow! You're not wearing green, but oh, I hope somebody gets me the clip of that. The chews that just happened in a live stream hours ago. Well, an hour ago now. That was a good time. Welcome. This is the Grimgrish Virtually Not Alone thing. We got three here. We'll do this one.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension of not only sound and vision, but that of a hive mind, a journey into a virtual land of both shadow and substance, a place where you can embody breaking the fourth wall, whose boundaries are only limited by one's imagination. Somewhere in between agency and a rabbit hole of saving throws, welcome to the Virtually Not Alone Zone.
But and now we do specifically the Reaper Harvest and the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse stream for this St. Patrick's Day. And now we're doing the savings throws part where you get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your savings throw. If it's over 10, you take half damage from the mind control that follows in the rest of the show and your life. And if it's under 10, you take full damage from the mind control in the rest of the show and the rest of your life. Because remember, Embody, humans are susceptible. Choose! Susceptible to suggestion. Survivalists. That's prime 17 today. Socialists. That's an 8. Since 8. The power of 8. You know it. Whoa, wisdom, folks. Lenny. Nat 20 on the wisdom today. Heart, folks. That's the 6. Indigo kids. Nat 1. No bonuses for you. Oh, look. My mic is redlining over here. That's concerning. I can't move the slider either. Here before and then we're about to do. Okay, so branding. What? Yes. This branding. Remember, Embody.
There is no agency. We want
what's best.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all. What is he on about? Savings throws we just did. Laura, why are you sad face? Don't be sad face. We're all virtually not alone together. It's beautiful. Hey, Clint. Good. Heart was 6. Heart was a 6 today. And the Indigo kids got a nat 1. That's Pretty concerning, but what we're doing, okay, remember by the rules of morphogenetic fields that the first time you do it, it's really hard. And the second time you do it, it might not look anything like it. But today we're doing what we're calling this, the Reaper Harvest part. And then I'll tell you about the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse at the end, if I remember to. So how that's going to work is I've loaded up the clip stream from the Broken Clock Tower Discord. And we're gonna see what the Reapers out there have brought, and we're gonna start today with. Now, I gotta make a note. I don't know how much of this is gonna fly. Clips of copyrighted stuff, songs especially. Don't do songs, but we'll see. We'll see if the stream gets killed. We're gonna start all the way up at. Yeah, right here. Ups. I don't know if this wasn't exactly a clip, but we'll start there. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. Excerpt taken from If poem by Rudyard Kipling, written in 1895, yada yada, and Ups coming in with a general memo from PVK. Let me know how the audio is on this, guys. All right, did the audio work for that? Is that no audio on the, no, good, okay, well, what if I do it like this? How about if I just leave the mic hot like this?
Miss, I love all my children equally, but I sure do watch a lot of Grim Grizz because I, just can't get enough of that little fella. And he's somebody I really can't wait to meet this spring.
Did that work? Could you hear it now then, kind of? Hey, the Chris Show. Good enough. All right, thanks to Ups for bringing that to the clip stream. And to continue the Reaper Harvest that we have going on today, we scroll down further to one I brought. This was that promo clip from Cassidy's video. If you want me to clip that out of the live stream, Cassidy, let me know. Oh, here's one. Serious, I called it.
To say, this is some serious shit, man. Like, this is some seriously dark magic. This is like Voldemort and his Horcruxes. It's crazy, man. I want to encourage you to do it, but I also want you to be aware that your locus of consciousness might become too attached to a virtual identity as opposed to an embodied identity. That's part of the thing that's currently going awry in our culture, where people already have a virtual identity. They just have a very primitive form of virtual identity called a profile, which is extremely limited, the Twitter self, in which you don't actually enter, usually people don't actually enter into a to say, this is some serious...
No, so, yeah, I think it speaks for itself why I thought that would make a good clip. You know what, that'll do. Yes, that is going to be a great meeting. So say we all. Hey, good enough, Michael. Good enough. I do have in another tab. I do have in this other tab. Hold on. Let me show you. I thought it was from the red book, but apparently it's a different book. It's called From Man and His Symbols. And I guess I'm going to read that as a video at some point soon. Stay tuned. One person said in the comments I should do it. So now it's going to be a thing. What? Well, yes, Laura. But Laura says I've read Man and His Symbols, but did you do it as a video for everybody else to enjoy? Anyway, moving on in the Reaper's Harvest here today on today's stream, where we're doing this thing where it's kind of like show and tell. You leave your clip in the stream, and maybe one day we'll do upvoting but for right now, I'm just running through them. What was left by me and the other Reapers. Here's one I grabbed from Rando's conversation.
For around 6 months.
Okay.
With Youth of the Mission, YWAM.
Oh.
They have a leadership school called DTS, or Discipleship Training School.
Yep.
I went and did that, and the funniest thing...
YWAM DTS shows up in various places in the DDK Rando's archives.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So, with my board...
Remember, everybody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. And then next in the hit parade from Jay, Pineapple Pizza with this little dash clip dash. What Ryan Lewis did with this little dash, little dash, corner dash. We gotta get that. We got to get the. All right. So what is it?
It's a collection of.
No. How do we say it right? This dash, little dash, corner dash.
This-little-corner.com.
Okay, this-little-corner.com. This-little-corner.com. That's what Ryan Lewis made, and you can search for. He's the de facto landlord because he's made this product called this-little-corner.com. And what happened is if he thought you were in the corner, then your channel became searchable, so you could search out things like Beholder or Egregore and see who said it first on what channel. And I went to him and I bullied him, and I got myself included. All right, so we got a comment that has to be read for those of you who are just listening to the archived podcasts 10 years in the future past from now. Nechama says, yes, virtual identity. It can bleed into soul slavery, in which the consciousness becomes compelled to move primarily through powers and principalities. Contains components of addiction and compulsion. And I don't know about you guys, but to me it sounds like somebody needs to be one of the to offer a course on defense against the dark arts for us. That's what I think. But this is the real me, the real one. The real one. I'm not sure what the catchy tune was, but brought to us by Jay's Pineapple Pizza. Probably that other person.
You didn't. I don't get the sense that you got into this necessarily to make a lot of money or anything. I got the sense that you got into this as sort of in some ways how I got into it. Sort of as a way of learning and exploring actively.
It's a mix of I wanted to participate. I didn't want to just be a viewer. I wanted to participate. I wanted to break
that fourth wall, as Grim Grizz says, right?
Yeah, I wanted to be part of it, and I very much am like, I'm like, everyone's losing their jobs left and right. Well, I don't have to worry about it because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and Again, I didn't really understand that this is a slice that you're being shown on social media, and not to say that people have lost their jobs. I don't want to minimize that, but it's also not quite as left and right as I thought it was. But
Yeah.
I just thought it would be a different type of voice. Like I thought it actually, I very much am like,
Click, 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 click. Now we're in a situation over here where Jay gave us a bunch from the same thing, and that's normally like it's almost a distillate, right? For the loom room for the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse with the distillate product line, but that doesn't exist yet. So we'll just finish running through what was brought. Your value is much higher than you think to a small number of people. Hi guys, you probably have specialty skills, networks, resources, and insights that certain people are eager to access. Oh, let me into your network, baby. Let me into your network.
thought it would be a different type of voice. Like I thought it actually, I very much am like, oh, why would people want to listen to me? I never had any sort of hope to or desire to do a YouTube channel in the past.
Yeah.
But I thought, I think I'm a different demographic. I'm a mother of three.
Yeah.
My children were quite a bit younger at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
So
And there's a lot of mommy YouTube out there, but your YouTube isn't mommy YouTube.
No, and it's not at all. And there are other women who are not mommy YouTube interested.
Yeah.
So not to say that that's a bad thing.
No.
You know, like
Now, I was at that live stream, and I tried to pose the question, hey lady, do you mind it when we call you the Agent Carter of the corner? And I didn't know if that question ever got addressed. And I was hoping one of these clips would be of that. But so far. Remember it.
There is no agency. We want
So, in case you're unaware, what we're doing here today is the Reaper Harvest and the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse live stream, which theoretically would be a Friday thing. If there's enough activity in the clip stream for me to do this every Friday, it would be. I'd like to be able to have playing cards show for the ones that you clipped, and then at some point there's going to be voting because I can't do 7,000, right? So, we'll get into that in a minute. But first, I think of it as my duty when someone has made a difference in my life to let them know.
good for me taking initiative, by the way.
Good for you.
Like I look at this and I'm like, man, I don't usually write people. So I'm glad I took initiative here because the fruits have been good, Paul. Good for me taking initiative.
That was a short one. That was shorter than you expected, Grim. It was. Let's move down to when Pajot meets DC Schindler, or when Paul covers it. It's not just a table, guys.
A table is not just a table. That our interaction with the table involves all sorts of things. For example, we don't notice the legs of the table or the legs of the chair, and we don't see them as distinct things. If in fact someone was sitting on the...
Now, as you can see, what are you doing? What are you even doing? You got to be over in OBS. Okay. As you can see, I set up this other OBS scene that was perfectly sized to play the clip like there. But it seems it's tragically difficult to get it in the right spot. And I think that's a lesson about life for everyone. Now, so many places to click. Back to the pink ironing board. Thanks, Anselman.
sitting at the table on a chair, we would notice, even though they are they are continuous, we would distinguish between the person sitting at the table and the table itself. We would distinguish the person sitting on the chair from the chair itself. And we would do that completely seamlessly without thinking, automatically, whereas we don't distinguish the back of the chair from the chair, or the tabletop from the table, or the legs of the table, etc., 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 etc. And there's a ton that goes into this that in many ways in modernity we were sort of naive to, but right away, let's say if you're playing around
Back in the early days of modernity, we were so naive about the tables.
Pardon me, sir. I have an idea. Corporal, get me the video cassette of Spaceballs the movie. Yes, sir. Colonel Sanders, may I speak with you, please? Yes, sir.
Oh, I can't. There's no way I can do 2 minutes. There's no way. There's no way I can do 2 minutes of it. Obsessive silliness. Wait, where are we at? Janice! Where was Janice? Where is this Janice appearance? There it is. Hello, everybody. What a surprise. I accidentally found you alive. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Janice. Shapers. Shapers, aren't we all? I'll remember that. Pink ironing board. Lol. And, hello. Ce n'est pas un pipi. How dare... Oh, look what you got me to do, Anselman. Look what you got me to say. Oh, okay. Does OBS mean obsessive? It means Open Broadcasting Studio. It's the fancy software that lets me remind you that we're doing the Reaper Harvest and Lobster Monkey Lighthouse stream. And I don't know. It's what I was using before I started using StreamYards, and you can use them both at the same time, and it's complicated, but sometimes you get terrible sound because of it. Lol. I watch these channels to learn more about tables and glasses. I'm surrounded by some great people. Obviously. We must comb the desert. What a time to be alive. And the desert combing through the ocean. Oh, brings us to a clip from Lynn Lavoie on Don't Sell Your Grandma. Line it up and then hit play. What? What? Line it up and then hit play? What kind of madness would that be? It's so sensitive.
I guess you could say that the language is just not translatable. Like, I don't think that you can really say, so even Unchimaka, we don't call the land the land. It's not an object. It's a grandma. Like, it's not, like you asked the question earlier, do you think of things as relatives? Like, I think of yes, that we absolutely do. And we treat it as such. We know that the earth is where you go back to. We all come from the earth and we all go back there. And there's a lot of understandings that still exist today about how we treat our grandmother. And when we talk about the Black Hills, we had a lot of elders who stood up and they protested when that court decision came down. They were upset and they would put up signs. This is when I was a little girl. They would have their protest signs would say, "Never sell your grandmother. Never sell your grandmother. The land is sacred. The sacred is not for sale." And we just adhere to that. We're poor. We don't want that $1 billion. It's a huge source of pride.
But there's usually only about a minute. This must be a clip that Nate Higgins took that Lynn brought to us. But yeah, don't sell your grandma. And it's interesting that it's Black Hills, right? It's for all us Deadwood dandies. And now here's another one from Jay.
The personal relationships that I've made in these spaces are the precious metals, are the gems for me. You know, the private messages, the private calls, the text messages, the reach outs, and that has developed more.
What the fuck is that sound?
Community for me with just a few people than sitting in voice chat with 20 people for hours and hours and hours. I'll say that Chad, the alcoholic, has just in being a part of my life in the few years that I've known him, he has changed my life forever. I will never go back. I will, you know, he has pickled me, so to speak, just in knowing him. So, like, Chad is...
Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you find yourself pickled in Chad, pickled in Chad, pickled in Chad. And then Laura and Nate from the homeroom appearance. Wait, do it right, do it right, do it right. You go here, and then it's so... what have you done? Now what have you done? Oh.
In your entire life that you agreed with every single thing they ever said?
No.
So why would you ever need to preface your assessment of somebody with, I don't agree with everything he says, but...
Right, yeah, I know, we do it all the time.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
And this is the case with Peterson. Like, I could say that about him. I could preface all my assessments of him with I don't agree with everything he says because I don't agree with everything he says. But that can't be a benchmark for how you evaluate people. Oh, I agree with everything he says.
Right.
You know, this person and I on a Venn diagram are just a single.
You wouldn't be different. You would actually not be different. You would actually not be different persons if that were the case, right?
Right. The implication there is I only really approve of people who are actually me. You know.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Yes. That's right. There's definitely an absolute egocentricity in doing it. And the fact that we say that is kind of evidence of our default egocentric.
Speaking of default egocentricity, ladies and gentlemen, live in the chat, that lady that was just on the screen, Laura Freeburn, welcome, welcome. Next up on the clip parade, love and serve those around you. From Jay.
If I don't care what church you're at, man. Are you there loving your neighbors? Are you there to be of service? To me, that's all that matters. I don't care what you call it. You can go to go to an atheist church for all I give a shit. I don't care.
So I agree with that, but here's the second part of my question that's a struggle for me, and you'll maybe get into it. Is like, what does that mean for your kids?
Well, I think it's helpful what Paul the Apostle, not Vanderclay, he consistently uses a couple metaphors. One is the body. So you kind of think of it as, okay, well, how does my body form in a healthy way? And there's a variety of ways to do that. But then he also uses the bride, the bride of Christ, okay? Mm-hmm. And those of us that are married, what does it mean to be faithful to our wives, right? Because,
what does that even mean, guys? Bruce gives a good definition of opponent processing, even though later he says he's not familiar with the fancy knowledge terms. Oh, look, it's in a good spot.
Dry Creek Wrangler School. Yeah. And he had a video, I think, today that I saw. Yeah. And he said one of the most interesting things about talking to people that you don't agree with is you get to examine why you disagree with them. Why do I disagree with this person? And that it's like a self-reflection. So when you're in an echo chamber, it's difficult to bolster your convictions. But if you can articulate why you disagree with a certain thing or a person, now I think you're in a growth period. And I think he's right about that.
That's a good spiritual principle. That's a great spiritual principle. It's one that I have to try to keep in front of my mind all the time. It's one of the ones that we have in AA. Lay aside what you think is wrong.
Why do you disagree?
Setting aside prejudice doesn't mean throw them out. Yeah. Why am I wrong? Where am I wrong?
Well, not even that you're wrong,
But you'll have to click through and see the rest of that to find out. Or maybe it's this clip. Oh, guys.
The miracle for me was all of those questions were completely swiped away. Didn't matter anymore. They were already they were answered. And I don't even know if you were to ask me, well, can you answer those questions? Like, the miracle is I don't have to. I just know that it is. Just like I know that the sky is blue, right? But I mean, is the sky really blue? Because sometimes it's not, right? I mean, I don't know, dude.
I remember believing in Santa Claus, and then I remember like thinking I had discovered a perpetual motion machine, and it's like I bring those up just as situations where I had really been convinced that I was right, and so they serve as a reminder for me to hesitate about being convinced.
Sure.
And then I don't know, but what would happen if I lived my entire life believing I know what the perpetual motion machine and nobody else knows.
The miracle.
I know about the perpetual motion machine, and nobody else knows. So welcome, everybody. We're at the Reaper Harvest and Lobster Monkey Lighthouse stream today, this Friday, St. Patrick's Day. Pinch yourself, if not somebody. And live in the Hive Mind chat, we have Anselman saying such things as, Santa Claus had a stash in my parents' wardrobe. But he was right. He was right about Santa Claus. How dare you? That could be a fancy clip I could play like branding.
Well, howdy, Rascal.
Oh, no. So we're moving our way down. We got some conversation. And then neutrino with our CDBCs inevitable. Are they inevitable? Or is it lined up? No, line it up first. Really line. That's close enough.
Back to its peg, and Jeremy comes out and says this: look, moving to a full reserve dollar digital currency is our best hope to insulate the internet financial system from the systemic risks embedded in the fractional reserve banking system. And there's a nice little article. I'll link it in the description. You can check it all out. But really what he's saying is this. I'm going to read this one more time. Moving to a full reserve dollar digital currency is our best bet. What I think Jeremy's trying to do here is hedge his bet and go, look, we are a digital dollar. You can use us as Circle. You don't have to use CBDC. But essentially what he's saying is, let's do a CBDC. Now, I know he wants his company to be picked out, but when you start to talk about these things, there's people in the comments who will just say, look, this guy's playing his cards right now. We're starting to see what he wants to do. They've been working with the government. Not saying that's wrong, but for me, when I take a look at this, I'm like, man, are So just so you know, right now, here's how it works. Central bank prints a bunch of money, real money gets spit out, goes to banks, goes to you, there's the end user, and in between do fractional reserve lending, which is what Jeremy alluded to. And this is what they want to do. In the future, it's just going to be the central bank essentially to create zeros and ones in the computer, which they do anyhow. But it's going to be a ledger, essentially a ledger, not a blockchain. You can call it a distributed ledger, but it's just going to be a ledger on these different central banks. And maybe some of the large banks will be the middle person. I don't see the smaller ones going out. And it's going to go right to you. And they can do whatever they want with those zeros and ones. Now, the one thing that Jeremy did talk about, which I have to agree, is fractional reserve banking. This will definitely help if we have a fully collateralized. Because what he's talking about here, a reserve digital currency is our best hope to insulate as far as the risks of.
So all we really know is CDBCs are evil, and it's for me it's like if you think remember when if you got caught donating to the Canadian truckers, they turned off your money. But for everybody everywhere all the time. Like Sandra Bullock warned us in the net. And now from ups. Oh, it's almost right. It's almost. This is nauseating.
Whenever science evolves, what you'd like to do is you want to take the tools that you have newly at your disposal and try to test them against old problems and see whether you can get new information. And then there's also a test for the tool. You know that your tool is useful for something. So nowadays we have some new tools. We're trying to test them. We'll probably be limited in our results, and this will continue to be food for thought for future generations. So thank you very much for this. Whenever science evolves, what you'd like.
Oh, it's only 30 seconds. Son of here.
You could even think about it as content that's evolved, although it's culturally transmitted. It's content that's evolved. And so these figures of the imagination can reveal the structure of reality to you. And that's what happened with Jung, and that's what he described in the Red Book, and that was what permeated his psychology, a psychology that was based on the presupposition that the fundamental archetypal structures of religious belief were not pathological, not deceitful, not protective in some delusional sense against the fear of death, but quite the contrary. The very stories that enabled us to move forward as confident human beings in the face of chaos itself. And it's conceivable, I think perhaps probable, that nothing more important conceptually happened in the 20th century.
Then what? No, then what? I wasn't paying attention. Fine, Matt. Fine. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Matt over here is like, dude, can you try harder? Would you just try harder, bro? So fine, we will try harder. And to celebrate the trying harder, we'll first take a stop to the casino, because I need a musical break. You're supposed to. Go ahead.
What a sunny day, you'll find me on a big rock basket. Normally I need the shape, but that's all I've been having. I need the world way more than anyone needs me in it. If not for you, I'd run away and I'd admit it. I disappeared into an empty dark casino. I gambled everything, lost it incognito. And no one knows I'm broken, breaking promises still. And that's until my comic books are by and bill. Days just floating on a daydream sailing. I did the dishes, took the trash out, feel amazing. I disappeared into an empty dark casino. I wonder what song is Lacy Sudestino. And no one knows I'm broken, breaking promises still. And that's until my comic books not writing bill. It's a good my favorite single by my Prince band.
I don't know what his favorite is, but we couldn't find a good one. There was painful research done on the Discord.
moon kiss. I'm a machine built to seek out my own pleasure. It just so happens that my heart's my biggest treasure. I disappeared into an empty dark casino. I gambled everything and lost it incognito. And no one knows I'm broken, breaking promises still. And that's what's on my comic books I'm writing bill.
Instead of doing the fancy pants, the one with the thing and where you can't see what servers I'm in or all the rooms on the Discord or anything, well, I'm just gonna do it this way. Thanks to Matt, but at least you'll be able to hear the clips. Like I thought this one back here that had disappeared from the surface of the world that I had called promo clip was this one down here that I had called promo clip. So now I've learned I must be more specific the channel it's from in case they make it private afterward. But you remember this one from yesterday, right?
Slowly made apparent to me over the years, but particularly in the last 6 months, and more specifically.
All right, we got to do it that way
Slowly
then.
made apparent to me over the years, but particularly in the last 6 months, and more specifically with my participation with the Bridges of Meaning Festival. I've talked about it briefly before, and I've honestly tried to keep pretty quiet about it. And when slowly.
And now there's a video on what she was trying to keep quiet about, and that's what Freak Slug. That's these folks over here. That's Freak Slug. So where are we at? I hear there's some nice stuff in the reaping room. Well, I'm in the clip stream right now, bro, where J Pineapple Pizza has brought us this.
I mean, a simple way to say it, it's like if we all stand together and worship the creator of the universe, who is also the God of love, who loves us and made us in his image, it's like maybe that would be the highest point of attention that would bind us towards, and then things will flow down from there. And so one of the things that's interesting about the whole technology question, the capture of the screens that you talk about in New Think, is that it's doing the opposite, literally in the algorithms, right? What it does is that it identifies your idiosyncrasy, and then it feeds you more of that idiosyncrasy because it's the most immediate way. Common attention is hard, right? It's difficult to work together towards a purpose, but like that little kick of like get what you want in your little private desires, that's easy to give you. And the more I give you that, then we're actually kind of fragmenting ourselves.
Of course. I mean, you think
a simple way to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about the instantiations of Pajot's woven wool jackets. I reap, but I do not sow. That would have been a plus whatever if you'd said it before I caught it. What? Hi Ren. Who hasn't? What? Trickle down attentiononomics. Well, trickling down to welcome. Oh, see, now I don't have the branding anymore. Now I can't. No, not a video clip. It's an overlay. I got the one from yesterday still. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. It doesn't help to have the one from yesterday, Embody. Doesn't help at all. Behold, the one for today. Reaper Harvest and the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse. Wow, I still have to talk about the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse. But first, back to the harvest over here. From Neutrino. Okay, I don't know how much of this we're going to get away with, but we'll try it. We'll try it.
Do you understand, you squealing English sow?
English sow. No wonder Section 13 commands such respect. What strong language. To reign over the kingdom of the world, to make its peace and write its laws, to be generous to the obedient and merciless to all those who would stand against you. Nothing ever changes. 2,000 years and you still act like the
It's got music in it. That's gonna.
world is yours.
The Nosferatu. Oh. But from ups. But from up. Wait. No, show. But from ups from 3:22 p.m. Ah!
What is that story?
Where is the? What did you do? Put it? Oh, he put a. You ain't gonna be able to hear this one, I don't think. It's actually just I have to download it, put it on the desktop. No. Play some branding. Okay. This is actually the preferred method of how we would do one of these Reaper harvests, where I would actually download all of the clips in case YouTube scrubs them like they did with the start one that I just called promo clip, and I don't know what to call it now. But if I downloaded them all like this, then you'd get them this way.
What is that story and what should it be? And what are the fundamental elements that the story has to contain? And so the environmentalists offer us a story to live by, and it's a pseudo-religious story, and it essentially elevates the biosphere, the earth, Gaia, the earth goddess, let's say, to the status of primary deity, and characterizes her as sort of a waif-like, innocent victim, easily taken advantage of and fragile. It casts the entire human endeavor on the social front as a raping and pillaging patriarchal monster only interested in power, and it casts the individual as like a devouring mouth riding on the back of that giant, essentially. And so that's a description of the world, and there's some truth to that, right? Because we can wreak environmental havoc.
Yes. Social
structures can become power mad, and we can be carelessly consumerist, but it's a very incomplete story. It demonizes in a very pathological manner. So.
And speaking of waifs that are subjected to what was that waifs line? I don't know. But speaking of that, Ups clip comes next.
That not like in cinemas where the thing that throws the picture from it just sends lights on the screen. But this is different. This is millions and millions of little screens who send a light on you, some sort of electrical light. I'm not really sure, but because there's so many of them, and in fact you're watching very, very many frames when you're watching TV. Your head is very busy all the time to calculate and put it all together into one picture. And then, because you're so busy doing that, you don't watch very carefully what the program that you're watching is really about. So you become hypnotized. So all that's on TV, it just goes directly into your brain, and you stop judging if it's right or not. A poet told me.
Remember it.
This agency. We want.
Welcome, everybody. We're doing the Reaper harvest of the clips on the clip stream on the Discord. And if you've enjoyed any of these clips and you have access to the clip stream, please do me the favor of pretending the 7 indigo emoji is worth it. It's an indication of value, and add it to the ones you found valuable from today's stream. It's complicated, part of a long game, but the sooner you start playing, the faster it'll work. And next, also from Ups, there are no dead media.
My job for the next 15 minutes is to be your tour guide through the history of motion pictures, focusing on the history of the audience, the experience of exhibition, and how film has connected with other art forms. As I do so, the major message I want to get across here is the idea that the news of the death of cinema has been greatly exaggerated, right? That there are no dead media. There are dead delivery technologies, there are dead businesses, there are dead practices. But once we introduce a medium, a mode of human expression, extension of the human sensorium into the universe, they tend to persist. So dramatic theater, live theater persist in the face of cinema. Radio persists in the face of television. And so as we think about what's happening in the future, we have to understand that. My job for the next...
So when we think about the future, we have to understand that... Oh, look what you've done. Look what you've done now. Since you said pentaverate, we have to go Miriam! And see what the hell that means, Jizz. How dare you? Pentavorate. It's not a word. You're making shit up.
Aaron Gabra.
Aaron Gabra's a word. It means this Irish phrase. Ireland. Aaron Gabra. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Just when I missed the throw, too. The savings throws are way in the front. I could give you guys some more. Love you too, sir. Love you too. The moon. The moon. I am a medium of our time. What? What? Well, yeah, that happens. That pentaverate. It should be a word. It sounds like it should be a word. But next up, from Neutrino, on this Reaper's Harvest we're doing here today, we have from Caitlin Long, SFB, whatever that means. Whatever that means.
As well. Yeah. I'm going to come back to Custodia because Lynn Alden mentioned another bank on Twitter yesterday, where she's talked about them not being given a banking license by the Fed because they were
5 years.
For 5 years because they had a policy similar to yours of being full reserve. Okay, let's get into Silicon Valley
as well.
Yeah. I'm going to come back to Custodia because Lynn Alden mentioned another bank on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, that I have no context for that 19 seconds, except it probably has stuff to do with that CDBC stuff from before. But next up, from Ups, we have our good friend Pastor Paul in this clip. Yeah.
People were pretty frightened by IDW, normies at least. The IDW is a flock of cultural mavens. Grizz is a genius. Here's the thing about genius. It seldom sells because it's a little too far ahead for people to keep up. People were... This little corner is a place of refugees where people can kind of come and be misfits together and have, it's a fringe space.
There, we have made it. Some say Caitlin Long is a legend. Some say that lady tried to open a full reserve bank 5 years. Okay, well, that I had 17 seconds to work with. And she was told, no, it's not safe to open a full reserve bank. It's not safe. It's not safe. Well, the Reaping Room is where the Reapers are supposed to discuss the clips we find. The clip stream is just, hey, here's something, hey, here's something. So here's the one where Bart put in the Reaping Room, so he doesn't feel left out.
The world.
He doesn't feel left out.
We baldies are secretly ruling the world. It's because of our testosterone that has destroyed our hair. We baldies are secretly.
There you go, and on me. I don't know. He's sorry on Discord. I don't. It's very confused. You get when you're trying to get 3 trading cards out of the deal when we finally make things to where people can understand them. That's the one you get. I made it to the bottom of the clip stream, and I'm feeling mostly done with that now. But instead of scrolling to the top of the chat, I was looking for this Reaper Harvest in the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse part. The Lobster Monkey Lighthouse. Yeah, Bart Simpson, obviously. Eat my shorts. Digest shorts, Gavin. It's still on the board back there. You can't see it. It's all right. Lobster Monkey Lighthouse. Here we go. Okay, so there's this spot over here in the Discord, and we call it the Loom Room, and what's supposed to happen there began in this thread called the Kale and PVK Pope and JBP thing. Wait, no, it wasn't that one. Yeah, that's where. No, the Transfigured Theosis. It was a beautiful example of what's supposed to happen. Is you see, there's this thing I call a clip distillate, and like the best example I have is the one I made for the Four Horsemen talk with Peterson, Vervaeke, Barron, and Pajeux. But it's like you take 2 hours and you splice down the clips from it, and that's the distillate product that comes out, the bar of soap. And that's sort of what began to form here with a co-creation of both myself and Ami, as you can see down here, who brought in this clip.
When, for example, the love of God, which is one of the divine energies, God is continually and eternally loving his creation. And so this is one of the divine energies. But it's not just the love of God, but it is God loving. And so when you or I go and we show love to our neighbor, and we go and we do some kindness, we show compassion and act in love, we're cooperating with that divine energy. We're operating with it. God is loving that person through us. And so in that, we encounter God. And that is really and truly God, right? Who is there, who we encounter in that. And then that encounter is transformative of us.
So ideally, like, say that had been completed and we compiled them all together in one of what you can find on my channel under the playlist I Stalk Wiggles, right? But when it's all at one target, it's a distillate. A wiggle is usually the diverse selections thereof, right? Anyway, the point is what would happen is the creation would be the distillate, and the distillate is a great end product, but it doesn't really belong on my channel. It belongs on a new channel called Lobster Monkey Lighthouse, where we distribute the distillates. And the thing about making a new channel is right now is I would have to tie it to, again, to this legal fiction that Jacob is so pleased with himself for knowing. And what the LARP and groan thing to do is probably at this point to start the umbrella company of Dragon Slayer Memetics, or maybe it's a co-op, I don't know, and then do the subsidiary branch of the media LLCs that would own the channel, the Lobster Monkey Lighthouse, and then we could work out the distribution of funds through the tokenization of the 7 Indigo thing on the Discord. But that's all. Like, to do it right at this point, there needs to be the creation and summoning of legal fictions. And so I'm not, all the loom room work is kind of stalled, but for at least today, I can bring you the Reaper Harvest, and we can start doing that like a show and tell every Friday. This was the first morphogenetic crystallization of it. If you have recommendations for how to do it next week that might be better, yada yada, let's hear those in the comments and or the Hive Mind chat below. Oh, and I love you. Here's an earthquake. I don't direct my will, teach me to pray. You yourself pray in me. Go inside, go in your Christ closet when you, what? I don't, hey Dust, good to see you. So there, we'll do the after party today. We'll copy this link, we'll pop over here. So there, and then we'll put this here. And whoa, it's in there. The chat is catching up. It's you guys, thanks for all your +2 gettings. It's very impressive. It'd be nice if we got to the bottom of it. Where's the link I just posted? Anyway. What? There. No, that's the coffee link. Oh gosh, just post it again. There we go. And now we'll pin that. And so that's the after party link. I'll let's listen to that Freak Slug and see if anybody wants to come in. But we're shutting the stream down. This is the exit song. Yeah, that's the after party. You guys can come and we can talk in this StreamYard lounge place, but without streaming it. That's the notion. That's what that's about. Come on in. We'll talk after.